Here we are with Dr. Bob's 1970 Chevelle, Legacy Series Chevelle. This has got the Ironworks Roadstershop unibody chassis underneath it. This is number 7?
Number 7.
Talk to us. This thing is just moving fast.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to get a lot of stuff into these cars in a short amount of time. Trying to engineer the best solutions we can to make the cars work the best we can. We got all the panels replaced that needed to be replaced. We kept the ones we needed to keep. We got to come through now and make everything cohesive, because this part that fit on a car that had some funky fenders doesn't fit this part that was made, I'm sure, somewhere overseas.
Explain what we're working with here.
So what you're dealing with is the point of this fender is just a little longer than it should be. So we'll come in and we get everything, which our goal is to get everything aligned up the best it's going to get without cutting or moving anything. Getting it the best it's going to be, and then you can come in and decipher what little cuts you need to make, cuts or trims or hammers. We will try and hammer this edge over a little bit more to get this to fit nice. You can see this sits a little high. We probably need to strip this and see where this line lines up, and just getting everything where it's meant to be.
And then you make the decision if you need to push this back, or you need to extend this out, or extend that one out, whatever it needs.
And so you try to, because this position is also going to be determined by this.
Yeah, and we're not talking about like sculptured tight edges. We're just looking to make it look the best, or way better than what 1970 was.
Probably better than it was originally, which most people don't recognize that. And also better in just trying to get the new panels that a lot of people think should fit perfectly from the get-go to fit properly.
Yeah, talk to us about that.
It's just a process of, you have parts that are made overseas in a high volume, low quality scenario. And so you have that stuff where it's just going to take a little love, getting everything tweaked and moved. And, you can feel that when you run your finger across here, this is a little low. So we'll move that up. We might put the edge of that in the shrinker to pull that up and make all this stuff kind of fit a little nicer. So you're not trying to fix this with mud, you fixed it with metal.
Yeah, what's the difference between what you're doing and what, like, if you took your car to a body paint shop and needed to get rust repair and they replaced the panel, what's the difference here?
The difference is we just are going to try and minimize that stuff and take pride in our workmanship to get this the best we can. We're not just here to body and paint wrecked cars. We're not here to do those things. We're here to make the metal. These guys in the metal shop are trying to do their best to make the metal right and to make the least amount of filler. Like, there's some guys that might come in and just slather this with mud and transition it in there, sand it down and make it look like it was that way, and there's just a big old heap of mud here. Well, we're not trying to do that. And so we're trying to make it where this fits nice. We're trying to come through here where guys here might just be like, oh, I'm just going to put some extra mud in this gap and tighten that up. And we're like, no, which one's going to flow the best? Like, I almost think this side of the gap flows the best, so you might extend this door over, or you can extend that over. Whichever way kind of fits that better. You're going to finagle your way around and see how this line here this line is pretty much spot on, and this one's a little high. So we may come in and make a little slice here to move that down, just to get things to where, but there might be some trickery you can do to move things around.
Each panel to just keep on continuing.
Because we want these lines to line up. We're gonna sweat it a little further than a production style shop might do it.
Okay.
Because most people won't care, but the guys we deal with and the level that we're trying to produce do care.
Okay. So compared to the last time that we saw this car, what are the progression?
Progression is just the details. It's got all the console brackets in it now. It's got the dash bar in it now. It's got one of our legacy steering wheels just kind of set in position. It's got a lot of that kind of stuff. We're getting the the rear seat, set up in here. It's got the X-brace behind to help tie the package tray to the floor, so that's clean. We're working on building the rear seat brace. That will be the pad for the rear seat, because the old spring seat won't fit due to the driveline height and the ride height.
Okay.
So it's got, we haven't hooked up the cables yet, but it's got these But this handle works. But we've changed it to modern latches in this. And so the old ones were a push button that pushed the lever that then opened the latch. So this has all cable driven now. So we need to attach the latch to this, attach to the latch to this. And this is working now to open it. But the beauty of these is when you shut them.
So well, I'm looking down in there. There's no
arms.
No arms at all. All deleted.
Yep. And so now when it shuts, it's nice and smooth, quiet. Makes it like a modern car. So it's got a bunch of loose parts and pieces in here for the windows, but that's the basis of what we're trying to do. So if you get to the point and you make this electric, you can get rid of this manual key lock. But sometimes the manual key lock's nice if you leave the battery off or on or however you want to do that. Other than that, just fitment issues, getting all that stuff addressed, getting the bumper brackets tidied up, little things on the quarters, you can see that this trunk is a little longer than the quarter. We're probably going to extend the quarter down to tighten the gap, but you can see this trunk is a little longer than that. You can see that this gap's a little wide here when it's narrow here. You can see it kind of bows out up here in the top. And so we'll kind of straighten that up and get everything else where it's fitting the way it should. It's got our legacy mirrors on it now. We've talked about those a bunch.
Question.
Sure.
I know you jumped I want to bring you back here. So front and rear bumpers, they're not necessarily getting tucked, but you are.
We massage the brackets so that this gap isn't huge. I'm not trying to build it where it's this custom show car, super tight fitting, perfect $1 million rear bumper thing, but we adjust all the brackets to make them tight and make them concentric around the bumper.
And then after that, they basically get the mounting bolts shaved.
No, we don't do. We can, but most of the guys want the bumper bolts.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you shave the bumpers, it gets into a whole nother process that you need to re-chrome the bumpers, and then it gets gnarly.
Okay.
So we just put nice bumpers in there, and that's why we use new bumpers on these cars for that reason.
Okay.
Got the legacy mirrors, console as you saw. It's got our new cowl vent, hood vent to help let some hot air out of the back of the engine.
So the flapper is getting deleted, and then that's going to be open like that.
Yep. So it's open all the time to let air out all the time. When you're moving, it helps evacuate the hot air that might get stagnant up in the top of the engine bay.
Okay. And here's a good look at that dash bar that we talk about in a lot of these cars.
So then you can see the LT4 sitting here, Wagner front drive system, Detroit speed booster, just a mock-up panel to hold the radiator here while we're waiting on some more aluminum panels. Everything else is coming together. We're getting pretty close to, once everything's fitted, to putting the inner fenders in it and getting ready to send it off to the paint shop.
What is Stu working with over here?
So originally, Dr. Bob wanted to go with the Holly headlights that are right here. And so we wanted to do those. They're a good, cost-effective option for your headlights that don't require any fabrication.
So drop in
Quality headlights that fit right in the car. So after some consideration, he emailed me at some point and he's like, hey, let's put those JW speaker lights in there that you wanted. I'm like, well, it takes a little bit of fab and it takes some time to do that. He's like, yeah, that's fine. But I see what you're saying. We should probably do that. And so as you can see, these lights on the back side have that shape of a housing. And so it fits right into a stock bucket.
So this right here sits in that bucket right there. It's just like a seal beam that comes out of these cars. Factory, drops in there, okay?
So the JW speaker light has a much different shape housing, which means this gets into the core support, which is why we have to cut these large holes in here to fit that. And so after all the years of doing this, we've developed some parts to make that install easier.
That JW speaker is a universal just headlight.
That's used in like trucks and stuff, and they made them in a normal size, but they're super nice because they work really well in the dark, but they also have daytime running lights. They have some built-in turn signals, and a lot of times we'll make the outside headlights have the turn signals. We'll have some daytime running lights in them, and then the inside ones don't have all the stuff. So if you look here, you see the extra lights on the outside and not the extra lights on the inside. And so we make these where they go onto the core support to mount there. Then this base goes here. Then the light goes here. I don't think it's indexed right, but then we have a headlight ring that goes over that and sucks it all down. And so you would mount these to the core support to mount the headlights to give you all the adjustment screws and springs that you would need to make that right.
And we're offering those on the website. And
we'll have those on the website here momentarily, where you can buy the headlight package and all the stuff to put them in. A couple different options for if maybe you just want to run these and not all the other stuff. It saves you a little money. Because the bummer about a 70 Chevelle is 4 headlights.
Yeah.
So whatever you buy that's nice, you got to buy it 4 times.
So you can either have 4 of the standard lights, or you can do 2 of the inners and then 2 of the outers like you guys are doing with this one. And then you're going to have all this bracketry. It's going to be a package.
But the other thing that's really nice is all this stuff is super low amperage. Not only do they kick ass, but they are super low amperage. Like you can really even downsize the wiring to those because it's such low amperage.
Okay. So for the guys that are willing to do some fabrication, because you're going to have to cut holes and you're going to have templates and some
yeah, we're working on
how to
templates.
yeah.
You really get everything aligned that you're doing and determine where the center is, and then cut out your hole and put these mounts. You know, these parts here mount to the core support for that. Then this bolts to that part to locate that, and you mount the light to this, and then it's adjustable. You can adjust that type of stuff to put it all together.
And if you want to skip all that, oh, that's one all together. Stu listening in and coming in with the one all put together. And then if someone doesn't want to do all that fabrication, the next best thing drop in would be these.
Would be the Holley lights. They work well. They work well. They're much cheaper, but they don't have all of the other functions.
Okay.
And at night, man, a car with 600 or 700 horsepower at night, it's really nice to have some good headlights in it. So these are nice. Those are just nicer.
Okay. One thing that I want to touch on that we talked about earlier today was that Dr. Bob reached out to you recently and talked about what was this thing?
Just the update process. There are our interest in making sure everything is right, making sure, you know, he's like, are you going to do this? Well, of course, yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, are you going to do that? And so, but trying to.
What was he worried about?
That we weren't going to do it.
But what was it? I know what it is, but what was it? The fitment issue? What was
just the fitment issue that we talked on that front fender? And so, but it's a common issue of that people are like, you know, how are we going to address this? And so, but this is part of the process that we talk about on here when people enjoy the process. People come in and they want to see this and they get excited and they want it that, you know, as they're going through the process, they're getting their weekly update pictures. They're getting a lot of that type of stuff as they're going through the process. And it's like, you know, they start to see how these panels come and this isn't perfect. And you're like, oh, we do. This is what we do. And that's where you can just learn this from guys who are just haven't been around shops that take as much pride in detail of what we're trying to do. And so people get excited and enjoy that process of, you know, looking at the things and making sure that, you know, that they're going to be happy with the end result that they're getting in all those small details that they didn't really even know about before.
Right. And another thing too that he brought up was that he was excited about the weekly updates of the Dropbox of photos.
And that's where you get the pictures that come. You're seeing the whole process to see all of that come together where you're like, man, here's the fender before they were doing it. Here's the fender now. Man, that looks way better. And man, this looks way better. And as you go through it, you live that experience to know through the weekly pictures, through all the updates that we send, through the communication that happens during the process of just keeping everybody involved. And it's not just this rush to the end thing. Oh, here's your car, here's the keys, and we won't worry about the rest of it.
And we're not talking about like you grab a couple cell phone shots with a flip phone and email them over to them or text them. I mean, that's pretty standard of what people are doing. You actually have a photographer.
No, we have a professional photographer that's here every week and takes pictures and adds them to the Dropbox, and all the pictures that we use on social media end up in those customers' Dropboxes, and all the pictures that don't end up on social media end up in those customers' drop boxes, so they get a new file every month to document the whole build process.
Yeah, and these pictures are well lit and detailed pictures, but they might not be for the public to see, but the process for the customer to see where their car is going.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So,
anything else on the car?
Man, that's it. I'm just excited to see it all come together. It's going to be going to paint shop before we know it.
Yeah, I can't believe how fast you guys are going on this car. I mean, I know we have a lot of cars in rotation right now, but this one came in hot, got torn apart. I mean, it's just great to see it this way already. When do you think we're going to have it on the ground with the wheels? When are the wheels supposed to be here?
I'm getting really close. Once we have the inner fenders in, I'm going to measure the wheels on this because it's the one of the first cars in the new style chassis. So I just want to double check all of our measurements with the differences in track widths and slight just differences from the old chassis to the new chassis.
Okay.
So we'll be close on that, and yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So if anyone's interested in any, well, first and foremost, if they want any of this Legacy Series Chevelle Series product, you can go to the website and you can see it on there and see what's available currently, and then you'll be adding stuff as you go. What if someone wants to reach out and find out about having their own Legacy Series Chevelle built?
Just follow the email links on our website, and it'll put you in. It'll ask you a few questions to direct you to the right people, and the people will get back to you very quickly, probably the same day.
Okay, so either yourself if you have to get involved or someone else.
Somebody.
Okay. Okay. Well,
thank you very much, and thanks for paying attention. Have a good day.
We'll see you guys on the next video.